And you record. Do you want us to record to the computer as well? All right, we're good. Yeah, just 60 seconds to come back. We'll hit another one before the anthem. I kept forgetting about that. Can you bring that one up again for me? I got to see what we got. And then we'll go into the Spectrum commercial on ours as our first one, so any one of those ones. Yeah, can we make this box a little bit smaller so we can see his chats at the same time? Much better. Is my bag on that side over there? Thank you, sir. Back inside the gymnasium here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. Going through the starting lineups for you for both our squads, so let's hit them for you. South Portland Red Riots, who come into this matchup looking for another victory, as they're currently second in the Class AA South standings. They will start a very experienced lineup with Connor Buckley, the senior, going with Noah Malone and Liam Coyne, also two seniors. Riley Hassan, the one to keep your eye on, number 33 in red and white today. He's their other senior member, along with Scott Lewis, the 6'6" junior forward. Oxford Hills, one of the teams that they will not win the size matchup against this season, but certainly they have some talent and will try to attack in different ways. As you'll see Spencer Strong out there with Chris St. Pierre. No surprises on that. Colton Carson, 6'5", and big part of their offensive and defensive game plan being able to rebound the basketball. And we'll also see Atreyu Keniston out there on the floor with Janik Luxa. So that is our starting five for the Oxford Hills Vikings in the green and white. They come in at 2-2 on the season, coached by Scott Graffam. Again, looking for their first win in Class AA action. We'll step aside and be back after the national anthem for opening tip-off here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox. Keep them updated about how many commercials to take, so tell them at least 60 seconds for now, so at least two spots. We are set to get our opening tip-off underway here in our Hammond Lumber and Central Maine Community College MBR.org Game of the Week. And a good one for you on this weekend, and a good afternoon crowd turning out as well to see the boys of Oxford Hills take on the visiting South Portland Red Riots. Caleb Lamb here with you. I've got Nick Perry alongside as we get set to jump in the center circle for our opening tip-off. Oxford Hills dressed in the home whites with the green and gold trim, going up against South Portland all red uniforms with silver and white stripes down the sides. Set to jump and tip off. Scott Lewis, 6'6", going up against Colton Carson. And Oxford Hills will start with the opening possession as it's taken down by Spencer Strong to the far side. Chris St. Pierre puts it into the front court. Carson from a long way out will set things up for Strong as he now makes his way down towards the hoop. St. Pierre over for Strong on the right wing side. Tries to feed in for Carson, gets to the paint at the foul line, drops it back off for Strong straight away. St. Pierre, right wing three-pointer, no good, off back iron, and it takes a long roll out with Atreyu Keniston on pursuit, just not able to get there and keep it in.
Yeah, we know St. Pierre likes that three ball, and he proved last year, and so far this year he can certainly hit it, so good
Only
look
needs
there.
A few more to be able to set the school record for three-pointers as well, and you can expect that we'll see a few shots go up from behind the arc for him as he tries to finish that off before we get to the new year. On the dribble here, Connor Buckley for South Portland looks to go inside, and that entry pass denied by Atreyu Keniston, who knocks that one aside, and we see Oxford Hills go the other way quickly with Carson again the focal point. He takes the little jumper and sinks it for the first bucket. But a nice move down the left-hand side of that lane, and expect that he's going to be the early involvement as they try to make sure they set a tone down low in the paint. Don't let South Portland dominate with the size. Foul on the Red Riots after a missed shot of their own, and Oxford Hills will take it from their own side of the court.
Definitely want to get Colton Carson into the game here and, get him on a hot streak. Saw in the playoffs last year he can really take over a game when he wants to.
Oxford Hills that's been looking for their main scoring option this year with Matt Fleming transferring to Bangor in the offseason with the family moving up north there, obviously with older brother Andrew playing for the UMaine Black Bears. In the front court, Oxford Hills looking for their second made bucket if they can. Pass from Carson was read well and slapped right back in his face. St. Pierre resets up top straight away by the timeline. They feed for Keniston from the foul line. Shot no good. Off the iron and down. Rebound controlled by Noah Malone for South Portland. Red Riots moving quick as they'll look to run the floor. Nice spin move, but the pass wasn't there from Buckley. Put it right to St. Pierre. 2-on-1 the other way, quickly canceled out. Strong goes behind his back from the right wing side for the Oxford Hills Vikings. Trying to feed inside for Carson. Again, having to come a long way out to pick it up. Works his way into the paint. Little feed for Keniston. From the right elbow goes up. He's fouled as he drew two defenders to him when he went for the rim.
Love the pump fake there. Got his defender in the air, dribbled around him, and went up strong.
2-0 Vikings. 2 minutes gone in our opening quarter. And Keniston going to the line to try and add a few more.
Not easy in there with big number 34. 6'6" for South Portland.
First free throw no good off the side of the iron.
Scott Lewis.
Lewis, a big focal point, obviously, for them. And then they also have Hassan, who is not a small player who can attack on the dribble. And they're going to say early movement from the Vikings, so that foul shot would not have counted had it gone in. So no points from that trip down the floor, and the Red Riots take over.
The old-fashioned lane violation.
Hassan up the court. Looking to run towards the middle, gets to the top of the key, dribble drive step to the baseline, heaves a pass back into the paint. They try a couple more, but one pass too many eventually trickles out of bounds. Liam Coyne trying to feed inside to get Scott Lewis involved, but it's been turnovers down low in the front court for South Portland that have ended all of their possessions so far.
Yeah, great job on the defensive end by Oxford Hills, just not giving up the middle, forcing everybody baseline.
Chris St. Pierre into the front court on the right wing side will feed back over for Luxa. To the left wing side, Strong fakes, penetrates inside, just trying to find some room around the trees of the Red Riots players, and it eventually works out for Keniston. Not the way they drew it up, but they'll take the 2 points from him for a 4-0 lead.
2 points is 2 points.
Red Riots now trying to get their first basket as they're going a little bit of a struggle early on. Nice fake three-point ball, and then the long two no good from Noah Malone. Rebound controlled by Carson.
Oxford Hills doing a good job of slowing South Portland down.
Into the front court, Oxford Hills. Keniston comes up with the missed shot. Strong from the right elbow. Puts a pause on it. Luxa from the right wing, looking to dribble inside and just get himself out of the many, many players packing inside the archway. And Red Riots, you can see, are going to make sure that there is nothing easy down low on the paint. They're going to try and force Oxford Hills to beat them from outside, at least early on. Strong looking to try and launch the three ball. No room to do so. Luxa using the screen from Keniston. Carson, foot on the line, so it's a long two if it goes. No good. Front of the rim and out off the glass. And ahead it goes for Buckley. Steps around St. Pierre. Stops and pops. Left elbow jumper. Good. Cuts the deficit to 2 points. It's 4-2 Oxford Hills. 4:20 to go first quarter.
Yeah, and you saw right there they'd wanted to get out and run, and that's where South Portland's more comfortable.
Keniston from the top of the key for Oxford Hills. Artie has picked up the dribble, so he'll pass along the right corner side for St. Pierre using the screen. Artie has tried one three-pointer today, couldn't hit it on the first possession for Oxford Hills from the corner. Wanted to let one go, but he was covered well by Hassan. He'll set up here. Right wing three, too strong again. Keniston knocks it around. Eventually, Red Riots come away. It's Coyne sprinting ahead. He'll stop, leave it for Hassan. He's covered, gets to the foul line, looking to go up, no room. Feeds into a double team, and the ball couldn't be caught cleanly by Lewis. Eventually snatched away by St. Pierre.
I don't think Lewis was ready for that pass.
Strong launches a quick three in transition. Keniston, the long rebound off the miss. Sets it up for Strong again. Goes right down the middle. Great move, and he finishes. Little razzle-dazzle on the layup. Goes underneath and off glass and in. 6-2 Vikings.
That's a little Kyrie Irving-esque right there.
Didn't know how he was going to have enough time to finish that shot off after he started his run from the free throw line extended, but he did a great job getting in there. Red Riots again with a turnover, and they'll take a timeout. We'll do so as well. 6-2 Vikings on top, 3:18 to go here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
3:18 remaining in our first quarter back here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School. Alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. Vikings on top and looking very good defensively as they have forced a lot of unforced errors, so to speak, from the Red Riots, just trying to pass the ball into the paint. Entry pass from underneath the hoop from South Portland off the timeout is kicked away by Carson. They'll try it again. Quickly in, and the jump shot would not fall for Noah Malone. It's a held ball as Strong tried to rip it away out of the large grasp of Scott Lewis, and the possession arrow favors South Portland.
I didn't see the South Portland side, but we do have one sub so far here. Mr. Ajayi.
Jacob Ajayi.
Jacob Ajayi, yes. Not to be confused with the Eagles running back, but, you know.
Older brother of freshman Shea Ajayi, and both of them soccer players and two-sport athletes for the Vikings as he's in at the forward position. Red Riots trying to get their second made bucket here, and it's not coming easy. Good defense here set up by the Vikings, forcing them to head back towards midcourt, and they'll try again. Buckley heaving off to the right wing side for Malone. Goes for Buckley inside for Lewis. Trapped on the baseline. He steps plumb out of bounds, and he knew it before the whistle went, and that will get a substitution coming up off the bench. It's their larger option, the Red Riots. Will go with Shippen Savage, the 6'7" forward, to replace Lewis. Vikings, meanwhile, will give a spell on the sideline to Spencer Strong.
Little extra height.
That 1 extra inch, they'll see how that goes to deal with Ajayi, who is in for Keniston. In for the Vikings, by the way, they've got Hunter Labossiere in. They go for Ajayi from the left elbow. Kick back around for Garrett Record. St. Pierre finds the hands of Labossiere. Carson from the right wing will attack. Gets to the end line. He did get the ball out of his hands, but they're going to say that it came after his right foot had hit the out-of-bounds line, so a turnover, and really he had no room on that possession whatsoever.
None at all. Good job by the South Portland defense.
Red Riots with Liam Coyne from the left wing side. Neither team really bothering to put up any resistance in the front court. They're just backpedaling straight away, so we've been quickly up and down. No worries about 10-second issues so far. Long three is hit and drilled by Connor Buckley. He's got all 5 for his team, and that makes it a 1-point lead for the Vikings, up 6-5, just under 2 minutes to go here.
Yeah, all the points and, just got on the open shot they were looking for.
That was NBA range as a pass is thrown away. Buckley quickly picks it up. Lefty layup wouldn't go, and a foul by South Portland as they tried to corral the offensive board committed against Labossiere, who was trailing and got his hands to the loose basketball first.
Yeah, good job of getting back there by Oxford Hills, forcing the contested layup.
First foul against Malone they gave it to. Or no, excuse me. Yes, they did give it to Malone. I think they might see that gets changed as it was Buckley who was on the attack. And a quick little substitution for them. We'll see Liam Coyne get a first spell on the sideline. St. Pierre bringing the ball up court for Oxford Hills. Just over 90 ticks left in our first quarter. Not a fantastic start offensively for either team, but this has been a good basketball game nonetheless. St. Pierre, left wing three, in and out, wouldn't flush down, and the long rebound to Hassan. He fires ahead quickly into the front court. Tyree Bajoka. Bajoka now running the baseline as they leave it up top for Hassan to try and find somebody. They go down low, lost off the foot of Connor Buckley, who caught the pass at the goal line, extended, but dropped it right onto his foot as he was looking to turn and go up.
Just one of those unfortunate situations. Had what they wanted, had the ball in low. Could have been a running before the catch type of deal.
That sort of thing where you know exactly what you want to do. Your body just hasn't gotten the basketball secured yet. Final minute starts off here. Still a 6-5 game for Oxford Hills. All of their points have come on field goals as Carson, who started the scoring, penetrates inside, has to give off a pass for Luxa. Back up top, St. Pierre finds Carson. Turnaround shot from the foul line, no good. Gets his own rebound, layup left short. And this one is corralled by Hassan to go the other way for South Portland. Across the timeline, 35 seconds to go. Gets to the right alley, spins underneath the hoop, heaves it out, looking for a three-pointer. Malone passed it up as he had a good look. Feeds it over for Savage. Tries the long two, no good, and Ajay, the defensive board. Still 22 seconds to go, and it's a carry from St. Pierre. He wanted to throw the one-hand football throw down the court, thought better of it, but his hand was already cupping the bottom side of the basketball. Turnover, Oxford Hills.
Tough turnover, especially no one around. Just one of those things, though, you know.
He'll shake it off as the Vikings make the substitutions, get their starters back into the game. Will Dietrich coming on as well for these last 20 seconds of the first quarter.
I thought Malone had that three open here, and he passed it up.
He had a
South
screen
Portland.
set in front as well. He takes it this time, though, from the left elbow. Offensive foul as he goes crashing into Keniston. Did a good job to stand his ground and draw the charge with 11.8 to go.
You know, we talked about it off air right before the game, too, Caleb. Keniston always seems to be just in the right spot, the right positioning for those type of plays, so...
And it looks like they just had a quick communication down to make sure everything was set with a sub coming on. And there's a frustrated Noah Malone heading to the bench for South Portland. 11.8 to go as Strong takes the inbound. Gets across the timeline now, dribbling to his right. From the right wing, trying to back inside. Pass for St. Pierre. He's well covered. 3 seconds to go. Has to fire. He doesn't realize that there's no time left. Heaves one, no good. But he did not know that there were seconds ticking down there. And the shot well off to the glass. So we are through the first quarter. Only 11 combined points. Oxford Hills with a narrow lead, up 6-5 here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Comprehensive High School, second quarter just getting underway here. Alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. Vikings starting with the ball in the first possession of the second half, going from left to right. And on their first attempt, ball was knocked out of bounds. Luxa will put it back in for Spencer Strong on the right wing. Tried to go inside for Keniston, read all the way by Hassan, and he got rid of it. They'll take it the other way, and South Portland leaves in the hands of Buckley. Quick handoff of positions up top with Savage. Now leaves for Bajoka, who comes in and then kicks right back out to the left wing side. This time it's penetrated by Coyne. Shot no good. Thrown back off the glass. Deflected away by Keniston, but he got a lot of the arm of Savage as well. So no good.
Yeah, tough rebound in there. The 6'7" frame helps. Must be nice to trade out a 6'6" center for a 6'7" center.
And he did a good job getting his right positioning to box out everybody behind him, and a good battle with Keniston for the rebound. First foul shot no good, so it's still a 1-point lead for the Vikings. Shippen Savage trying to tie it up, and he does. Sinks the second one for his first point, and the first point scored by a Red Riots player other than Connor Buckley.
Mr. Buckley carrying the load so far.
Spencer Strong across the timeline for the Vikings. Left to right here still, and a pass that's picked off away by Buckley again, who's been very active, very quick. He sidesteps his way to the right alley. No-look pass into the paint. Turned away on the little layup from Savage as Atreyu Keniston staying right with him. And Keniston's all the way down the court. Shot no good, but an offensive putback from Luxa falls. 8-6. Vikings back on top.
It's always good when the shortest guy on the court gets the rebound.
Luxa, who was right there for the 2-on-1 with a nice heads-up play to get the ball quickly up court. Now three-pointer from the right wing side, too strong. Tipped away from Savage, and Hassan got hit by his own teammate. Strong runs the other way, lost the ball and lost his footing. He was able to keep it in bounds as he went crashing away, but passed it straight to Bajoka for South Portland. Into the corner. Red Riots again moving and bouncing the passes in towards their players in the paint. They'll pass it back outside of the key for Buckley to hold. 90 seconds have passed here, using a screen from Savage. Now he runs down the right alley, dribbled it off his knee, but I think they're going to say there was a reach-in foul on the Vikings, and it'll stay South Portland basketball under the hoop.
Be interesting to see who that's on. Is it 5? Okay. Because Keniston already has one. Didn't want to pick up your second early here in the second quarter.
Was Record who was guarding him. Quick sub for South Portland as Bajoka heads back to the bench area there. They have on for them. Trying to see who that new player who came in underneath is. As Hassan takes a pass down low on the inbounds play, but he stepped on the baseline as he was trying to reverse out from underneath the hoop for a layup attempt. And that is Jacob Milton, the 6-foot guard and junior player who's on for the Red Riots.
Boy, that baseline's just jumping out in front of people today.
We've seen a number of times that South Portland has stomped on it, and the Red Riots continue to have their turnover problems in the front court. Carson for the Vikings as he attacks inside the paint. Kick out, left wing long, 2 served up by Luxa. He hits, and he's got back-to-back field goals to make his total 4. Buckley on the attack here. Heaved inside for Lewis to spin his way inside the paint. He draws contact, and they'll count the layup as well. Looked like it was a perhaps travel as is being mimed out on the sideline by an unenthused Scott Graffam, who had to get those legs of his stretched quite far to mime the steps taken by the 6'6" Lewis.
Yeah, Coach Graffam is not your Bill Belichick of the sports world in terms of reactions. That free throw was good, by the way.
Makes it 10-9. The Vikings still on top by 1 point here as a good basket finished off by Scott Lewis, who had his struggles early on to try and get things going offensively for his side. Vikings now with Carson inside the paint. Lefty layup wouldn't go, and it's Hassan who takes it down. Now the Vikings all of a sudden ice cold from underneath the hoop. Hassan with a chance to put the Red Riots on top.
Carson
Vikings will have
a
player coming in on the next stoppage there. It's Spencer Strong set to check back in. And the ball ripped away by Carson, but did he get a big piece of the arm as well? Or will they have the foul call on South Portland? It will be against Lewis, who evidently had lost enough of the possession that when he wrestled his arm back underneath, it was a reach and foul.
Yeah, I think Carson had the ball, and as he was taken off, Lewis just grabbed on. He was going for the ball, but he got more arm than anything, so...
Senior James Doucette was quickly into the game. He steps back out for Spencer Strong off that latest whistle, and it's Strong who brings it into the front court here. Tries to feed to the left elbow. Handoff from Carson, and it's finished by St. Pierre. Nice layup from him, his first 2 points.
Great cut, great pass.
Red Riots now down by 3. South Portland has never led in this game, as it was all Oxford Hills from the beginning, at least getting shots to fall. Kick out to the right wing side. Long three-pointer again from Buckley. Wouldn't fall. He's already hit one of those NBA distance ones. Long pass ahead. Luxa is down there. Had to get acrobatic with the finish attempt. And the defensive board taken by Buckley. Good job by Hassan coming back to put the pressure on. And a steal made there by Luxa as he swats it out of the hands of the South Portland player.
Not an easy play there by Hassan, so full credit to him on that.
Picked up by Carson, long way out again as he goes way up top of the key. Heaves one to the left wing side that Strong had to leap to keep from flying out of play. Carson on the run, couldn't get one to go high off the glass, and the outlet passes to Hassan into the front court. South Portland, he attacks from the foul line, drops for Buckley straight away. Top of the key using the screen. Keniston came to bother him, feeds it over to the right wing side. Coyne attacking now and backing out off the dribble as he tries to set up a screen himself. Keniston, good switches being made with St. Pierre there as the Vikings continue to follow their men well. Eventually bounced outside for Milton. He's being hassled by Strong, and they're going to say it's a backcourt.
Wow. Great defense. Great defense.
That brings a thunderous applause from the fans here, who are happy to see some good defensive basketball with 3:54 to go in the second quarter. It's a 12-9 lead for the Vikings, back in possession.
Oxford Hill's just, relentless with the quick hands.
And really, that wasn't, full court pressure or anything like that. They just stayed in front of their men, forced a couple of different plays to be try and run by South Portland, and eventually you just run out of options and start worrying about what to do next. And the offense couldn't get it done that trip. Pass for St. Pierre. Quick hands to get it into the right wing corner. Lukes up for Carson. Moves around one. Pass for Keniston. Wouldn't go down. Might have gotten away with both teams having some contact on the ball. Keniston went flying, freed it up. Long shot from St. Pierre, missed, got his own rebound though. Players falling all over the floor.
The baby giraffes are on the ice.
Keniston went sliding on his stomach, diving through the legs of Connor Buckley to jab that one out of his hands. Carson, feed to the left wing side. St. Pierre, double teamed, has to drop it back for Spencer Strong. Just more than 3 minutes remaining in our first half. Quick moving basketball game here as Carson looks to attack from the foul line. Feed for Strong. Look to maybe take the three-pointer, but instead gets to the paint and gets fouled, and he'll head to the line for two.
I like the job by Strong there, just waiting patiently, making the move, getting a little bit of space and going up strong. Full pun intended.
Really hasn't been too many pump fake looks either from the Vikings today from the three-point arc. They've just had a lot of Red Riots players running towards them, and they're able to whiz by before they can change their momentum and get stopped.
Yeah, St. Pierre is itching to get that three ball to go down.
Strong no good on the first one. Will Dietrich will come in and spell Atreyu Keniston for a bit, and Luxa will also head to the bench, replaced by Labossiere.
Much earned rest for Keniston. He's doing such a great job down there on Lewis by not letting him get good position when South Portland's on the offensive end. And
with Keniston coming out, smaller lineup for South Portland as well, as they'll send Scott Lewis to the bench. Second free throw hit by Strong. He's got 3 points today. Into the front court, dribbling behind his back is Noah Malone. He'll attack towards the right elbow. Hand off for penetration into the paint from Buckley. Left it out for Bajoka. Into the paint comes Hassan. Kick to the left wing side. Coyne goes up and just heaves one into the hoop. Not much arc on that shot, but he's able to beeline it through, and it cuts the deficit down to 2 again for the Red Riots, 13-11.
Not much room on that shot either.
2.5 to play in the first half. Into Carson in the paint. Underhand passes there for Dietrich, who gets clobbered. Referee's uninterested in the call. That has Graffam sighing in disbelief on the sideline, while on the other side, Vikings force the ball out of the hands of Hassan, but they did have last touch, so Red Riots keep possession.
Yeah, it could have gone either way there. I mean,
quick inbounds play, and the layup too strong from Noah Malone. It's out for Buckley. Into the corner he goes, just a long two with feet on the line. That is airballed, but off the miss from Bajoka. They keep possession. Buckley scooping it up. From a long way out, he'll back out towards midcourt and now try to go one-on-one against Labossiere. Dribbles to his right, gets to the bucket, but he couldn't get the layup to fall. Hung on the rim for a while. Strong now.
Yeah, good move. Very quick. Buckley's very quick.
Being picked up there by Bajoka. Into the right wing, it eventually goes for Dietrich, who got clobbered last time down. Looks A-okay as he passes high in for Carson. Trying to spin his way inside against Malone. Long three jacked up from Strong, no good. This one is swatted out of bounds. Who had last touch? Referees looking really at each other, and they'll say that it was the Vikings. I think that one was the right call. They had Strong underneath, but it didn't look like his hand got a piece of it.
They were both swatting for it, it looked like, and yeah.
Both trying to, I think, just tip it up into the air and get it towards the open court. And now they've turned it over, and that doesn't have the Vikings fans very happy with a minute 35 to play.
Boo-Bird's in here already.
It's right before the new year. You got to get your last negative energy out before we hit 2018.
Absolutely.
Off the dribble here from the left wing. Spin move against Keniston. No room, but a foul is drawn by Noah Malone as he got his way inside. And did they just put the sign up for 2? I think they did. I did not see any active shooting by any means, as Malone hadn't even gotten the ball into one of his hands to try and feed towards the hoop. But it will be to the foul line he goes.
Oxford Hills only has 14 fouls, so
6 on the other side for South Portland. It's been a pretty clean but physical game as the first shot missed by Malone, who's still looking for his first points.
Fast game as well. We're already almost to halftime.
We're cruising through it. Second one won't go as well as it rattles around the hoop. Strong will pick it up, and he will move his way across the timeline. More full court, this pressure coming from South Portland, as they can do a lot of different things. It leaves Carson a little bit more room around Hassan. Couldn't finish off. Still a 2-point lead for the Vikings. South Portland comes the other way. Bajoka goes down. Reverse layup too strong off the glass. Carson has it jammed away from him, though. Hassan heaves into the front court. Malone to the hoop. Charge! No. I thought we saw the hand go up behind the head, and that would have been quite the call to be made there. But I think it was just an arm going up emphatically so he could jam it on his hip. It will be two from number 10.
I wasn't sure. I thought he was going to go with the charge there because he had the pointed elbow and all. But
he was pulling the old sprinkler move from the 70s at first, but then quickly went to the double karate chop to his hips to indicate the blocking foul.
First free throw was good.
Second one on the way and flushed as well this time. So Malone ties the game up to make it 13 all. Exactly 60 seconds to play as Strong takes it in. Again, picking up more pressure, draws the double team, able to break it to Labossiere. Feed inside Carson, throws one at the hoop. It took an awkward bounce as Ajay had already gotten up. And now ahead for Buckley. He's able to sink with his left hand. South Portland has their first lead. Timeout, Oxford Hills. 15-13 Red Riots with 44 to go in the first half. We'll step aside as well. This is the MBR.org Game of the Week here on 96.9 The Ox.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
First half winding down in our Hammond Lumber and Central Maine Community College Game of the Week. Alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School Gymnasium, where South Portland, switching up their defense and going to a more full court press, has taken a 15-13 lead, their first of the game. 40 seconds to go for the Vikings as they take it in bounds, and they need to get into the front court here quickly. Spencer Strong just crosses the timeline in time. He takes it straight away from the key. Drops it off for St. Pierre on the right wing side. Strong will take it from him inside for Carson. Draws the double. Handoff underneath for Ajay. Nice move. Finishes with the right hand. 15 all were tied.
Great job by Colton Carson to find the open man there.
We'll see if South Portland holds for the final shot or if they just go for the points. They have room for Buckley to jack up a three. It's online. It's good. 18-15. 10 seconds to go. Vikings have to hurry. Again, the press giving them some trouble. They didn't do a very good job at the end of the first quarter, and they turn it over here. Buckley takes it away, just heaves it up, no good. And he's not going to get a foul call with some contact there as he was rising out of a crowd of players. So a tough start for South Portland, but they rebound to have the lead at the half. Certainly not a barn burner scoring-wise, but a good old-fashioned defensive basketball game on our hands. At the break, it's 18 points for South Portland. They lead the home Oxford Hills Vikings by 3. As we head towards the break. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll break down that first half, and I'll stop using the word break so very much. You're listening to it on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Showed us the invoice of the car, took $1,000 off, showed us all the rebates. Everything was full disclosure. No other dealer would do that for us. I have had at least 5 that said that, almost verbatim.
Why don't you say that? There's nothing to hide in the commercials. I mean, it's all out there.
What's the website, Amber?
YankeeFord.com.
Marty?
YankeeFord.com.
Jay?
YankeeFord.com.
Burke?
YankeeFord.com.
I'm a little confused here. I'm not sure what the website is. I'm not getting it.
YankeeFord.com.
Yeah, sure. That might be it.
Plus oil changes for as long as you own your car, Maine State inspections for as long as you own the car.
I think if you go to the website, the point is that we're going to have the lowest price in the market.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you more for your used car. And when you come in here, we're going to pull the invoice and show you the cost. We're going to show you the rebates. We're going to be completely full disclosure.
Yeah.
Go ask the competitors to do that. They won't do it. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, there's no fine print at Yankee Ford. What was that website again?
YankeeFord.com.
Right.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house. The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal. We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who will get the IRS off your back.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
Call Tax Solutions now. Time is running out. Call 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661.
Back inside the gymnasium here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School, I'm Caleb Lamb. Nick Perry is alongside as well as we break down the first half for you. South Portland Red Riots have a 3-point lead, 18-15, but their first lead came very late in that first half here on our Hammond Lumber and Central Maine Community College Game of the Week. And this was a defensive fight right from the get-go. Really, the first dozen or so possessions for South Portland, Nick, they just could not do anything but turn the ball over.
Yeah, they were certainly flustered, and, we talked to Coach Graffam before the game, and a lot of that was, trying to slow this South Portland offense down. As you can see, Buckley loves to run. He's very quick, and they like to get up and down the court, and by slowing them down, Oxford Hills really kind of flustered them a little bit, and they did a really good job also of, cutting off the angles, making them go baseline, and just being in good position to deny the pass inside, especially with the 6'6", 6'7" height in there in Lewis. And they've done a really good job of that. And then once South Portland, it goes back to defense, they switched up theirs and went to more of a three-quarter court press towards the end of the second quarter there. And that's kind of stymied Oxford Hills as well. So
that's really where they managed to get their offense generated from, was when they made that switch in the final 2 minutes, using some of the speed from senior Connor Buckley, and the guard making use of that extra room when they were forcing the turnovers around midcourt. And he was able to hit a couple of three-pointers as well. He's got 10, only scorer in double figures. And really the other options, the big men have been contained from South Portland. 1 point from 6'7" Shippen Savage, 3 points, just one made field goal from Scott Lewis, and I believe Riley Hassan has 2 as well, but that's the one that is debatable. Could be that he has been held scoreless, depending on how they score one of their made field goals late in the first quarter. On the other side, for the Oxford Hills Vikings, it's been scoring by committee. Nobody's got more than 4. And those 2 made buckets came from Janik Luxa. The first 2 points of the game went Colton Carson's way, but he has not been able to find the hoop again since then. 3 points from Spencer Strong, 2 from Chris St. Pierre's, had a couple of missed threes today, and as well as 2 points from Atreyu Keniston, adds up for their total of 15 on the game. But they've been able to get multiple looks to different players. Any of their finishing, though, has had to come from the side of the hoop. They've had to try and get those layups from the low blocks and just haven't really been able to get them to fall because the shots have been altered. Not that they've been blocked, but when you have to try and shoot over that very long reach of a 6'7" player, it makes it harder to get the angle into the hoop right.
Yeah, especially, it's been a balanced offense here for Oxford Hills, but like you said, they haven't been, easy shots, and whether it's the size or just basically South Portland, other than St. Pierre, South Portland is just daring anyone else to shoot from the three-point line. And St. Pierre hasn't been able to knock one down. He's itching to get that first one in, and He's a very, streaky shooter as well. So South Portland really wants to try to keep him off balance and continue to contest those shots. They have the 3-point lead here. They didn't get their first lead until, 1 minute and a half left.
44
in the
seconds
yeah.
left when they first took the lead.
Momentum has shifted a little bit to their side, but Oxford Hills, I'm sure, will come out, and Grafham will try to make the adjustment to press, to break that press, the three-quarter court press that South Portland was showing, because, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure we're going to see that first thing in the second half from South Portland.
Well, the Vikings playing very tough with the reigning regional champions out of Class 2A South, hoping that they come up with their first signature win of the new season. 18-15 at the break. Back in a couple of minutes for the start of second half basketball. You're watching on MBR.org and listening on 96.9 The Ox.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Yankee Ford in South Portland wants to wish all customers a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season, and to thank you for an unbelievable 2017. How does Yankee Ford in South Portland keep delivering new Ford vehicles at the lowest prices with the highest trade-in values? By letting you keep all the rebates and cutting out layers of management. You deal directly with the owner. Yankee Ford has sold more new Fords than any other dealer in Maine for one reason: full disclosure. Ask the competition to show you the invoice. They won't. Yankee Ford will, and then take $1,000 off that price. Just over the Casco Bay Bridge in South Portland. Online 24/7 at yankeeford.com.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Sitting up top in the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth, I'm Caleb Lamb. Nick Perry along with us as well. Thank you for joining us for our MBR, Hammond Lumber Central Maine Community College Game of the Week. Vikings down a 3-point hole starting the second half, and South Portland with the basketball as they take it from left to right and force one out of bounds off of Colton Carson. They'll start with going in for Connor Buckley. They used a good three-quarter press changeup in the last 2 minutes to get themselves a lead. And this time, first possession, they try to go inside. Keniston knocks the shot away as he gets the block on Big Scott Lewis.
Keniston not in my house.
Spencer Strong into the front court, and he hands off left wing side for Luxa. Heaves it back over for Chris St. Pierre as Strong gets it back top of the key. Luxa switches positions with him up top. He'll dribble off to his right, looking for some movement. It's pretty static from the Vikings, as what looks to be now a zone switch from the Red Riots, as they've gone man-to-man zone a little bit. They're back now to what they started the game with, hoping that maybe the Vikings will have planned some adjustments against a defense they're no longer using at this point. St. Pierre gets the pass from Keniston. He's going to launch a long three. He got hit on the follow-through, and they will say no contact enough for a foul. And Chris St. Pierre is a long look at the official as he makes his way up court off that air ball miss out of bounds.
Yeah, St. Pierre is just trying to. That was the look of football season's over, ref.
On the run here, Buckley will take the handoff, and he tries to work inside, pass into the paint, low block, wouldn't go on the layup attempt for Lewis, but he got enough contact for the foul underneath.
Yeah, Keniston on the initial shot got a little piece of the ball and forced it almost in that spot where the ball gets stuck sometimes on the side of the rim, but wasn't able to come down with the defensive board there.
Not in the act of shooting, they'll say this time, which it definitely looked like it was, so they'll take it underneath the hoop. Quick feed in, and a bounce shot goes from Coyne. Puts it high off the bank for the glass shot in, and we have a 5-point lead. Red Riots have their largest edge of the game. Will Dietrich underneath hoop from the left block sees his shot batted back in his face by Lewis, and Red Riots go 2-on-1 the other way. Around the back pass from Buckley. He drew the contact for a foul. And no, I think they say offensive foul. That he did not control his body underneath the hoop.
Yeah, he didn't have control of his body before he passed. That's what they're going to get him on. And in retrospect, with the fouls, Keniston now has 3 fouls, and that's very important, especially against the big guys here for South Portland.
Something they'll have to keep in the back of their mind. Only a minute and 45 seconds into our second half. Keniston, who had that foul on Lewis on the first possession inside.
Lewis returned the favor.
This one will come from underneath the hoop here for the Vikings, as Spencer Strong will pick it up. Or no, excuse me, rather. I think they got Lewis. Okay, they did have it. They just wanted to switch out a couple of players to the Vikings and send Luxa onto the foul line with Strong from where they'll start the inbounds. Lewis will get subbed out. St. Pierre heaves it inbounds for Strong, and he dribbles back towards midcourt. Over to his right. St. Pierre takes the handoff, feed for Carson, looking to bounce inside the paint. Has to skip away from about 4 red jerseys. Strong tries the shake and bake, able to get off for Carson. He moves inside. Carson, nice look with the left hand, but again, not really an angle to lay the ball up and in, and he missed the shot. Buckley flying down the court, pulls up for the jumper, no good. Flying into the scene is Bajoka. He couldn't get the rebound.
Out of nowhere.
He had to come from the right wing side, but he came with speed and power when he left off the court. As St. Pierre crosses in front side for the Vikings. Down by 5, 2015 edge for South Portland. It's been a while since the last made point for the Vikings. Carson deals with that. Lefty layup goes as a great pass inside found him with some rare breathing room, his second of the game.
Yeah, they're doing a real good job of just collapsing on him. That was number 11 there with a three-pointer from the corner.
For Liam Coyne, who's on the scoreboard for the senior, and we have a timeout taken because the lead is now up to 6 points, 23-17. South Portland on top. We'll take the break here. You're listening to it on 96.9 The Ox.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Oxford Hills Vikings in a hole, down by 6 points here in our Hammond Lumber Central Maine Community College Game of the Week. Just over 5 minutes remaining in our third quarter. Oxford Hills in possession. Across the timeline, Garrett Record hands off for Carson, who's finally gotten his first made bucket since the first quarter a moment ago, and he gets fouled on his way to the hoop. They've gone a little bit smaller in the lineup, has South Portland. They've got Hassan trying to work down low with help from Noah Malone. Still at 6'2", but not one of their big forwards, the 6'6" Scott Lewis or the 6'7" Shippen Savage.
Yeah, right before that 3 for Coyne, I was just pointing out, South Portland's doing a great job of collapsing in on Carson and just making it so difficult for him to get an angle to put the layup in. And he's doing a good job of fighting, but they're just begging at anyone else on the team to shoot right now.
Made the first, missed the second, did Colton Carson, and the rebound controlled by South Portland. 5 minutes remaining here. As they stretch the floor to Buckley, he pulls up from the right elbow, swishes the jumper. He is starting to catch fire now for South Portland and is getting the shots to go. Only player in double figures, he leads everybody with 12. Carson taking this one across the timeline. Draws the double, gives for Spencer Strong. Wide open 3, no good off the side of the rim. Carson got the rebound. Strong, another move underneath the hoop and another acrobatic finish. He had a very good underneath the hoop layup, and as I say that, a long home run pass down the field finds a wide open Noah Malone to quickly erase that 2-point swap.
That is the run and gun offense this South Portland team loves. LeBron-esque right there.
So that gives him now 4 made in the game, and foul as Record tried to feed the pass inside. And that just goes to show the Vikings are having to work very, very hard to get their points to go. Strong has 5 for the Vikings, but all it takes is 2 seconds later, and the Red Riots using their speed down the court in transition to get behind the Vikings when they fall asleep.
Yeah, and you touched on it. They went with the super, small lineup right now.
Strong feeding inside for Carson at the left block. He couldn't get it to go. Got his own miss, though. He'll try from the left side again. Hit every part of the rim, wouldn't fall. Rebound shot put back up by Janik Luksa, who's got 6. Hassan quickly the other way for the Red Riots. He'll hand it off for Bajoka. He missed with the lefty layup from right underneath the hoop. Rebound Luksa. Long pass ahead. Record pulls up for the jumper, left it short. Almost had his own rebound, lost it on the floor as it spun away. Picked up by Coyne. He dribbles his way out of trouble. Pass underneath, too low for Buckley. He has to back out to keep possession. Penetrating inside. Heaves one behind his back for Hassan. Over to the left wing. 3-ball is good. Drilled straight down by Noah Malone, who's got 7 all of a sudden, and he has come to life after a tough first half shooting the ball.
This whole South Portland offense from behind the arc has come to life this third quarter.
Now an 8-point lead as Spencer Strong fired up a shot as he was fouled, and they're going to say that the foul was on the floor even though he made the jumper. If it was NBA rules, the continuation would have been well into effect.
Graham wanted that continuation worse than any Christmas gift he got this year.
Garrett Record will sub out for the Vikings. He's replaced by senior James Doucette. Strong inbounds for St. Pierre. Fakes the 3. Goes in for the contact, and he banks it in. He definitely initiated the contact, but perhaps a makeup call, and the ref gives it to him. 2 points, and he goes to the line. But if you're watching on our video feed over at MBR.org, and we hope that you are, or remember, you can check out the games later afterwards for the replay via the YouTube channel. He definitely took a shimmy step to his left as he went up.
Yeah, a little Kobe Bryant in that one. Good awareness, though, there by St. Pierre of where the defender was.
And he finishes off the old-fashioned three-point play. He's got 5 now, 2 made field goals. Cuts the deficit down to 5 points.
Behind the back.
Hassan puts it up, and it wouldn't go, but he was fouled by Carson, who came across. And this is where the Vikings have to be careful. If they try to go underneath for Hassan or perhaps get either Lewis or Savage back into the game, Vikings are being careful with Keniston right now, who's still on the bench with 3 fouls, having picked up his 3rd very early in this second half.
Yeah, Malone with the nice pass there. I thought he was going to go up strong, and it was going to get blocked by Carson, but behind the back over to Hassan.
First free throw good, second no good as it fell off the rim from Hassan. And they have done a good job keeping him in check, one of the players who was very, very good last year for this Red Riot squad that made it into the state championship a game again, only to lose again to Portland. Portland has knocked off the Vikings earlier today. Vikings trying to get a signature win on them. How about that for a block by Carson? It comes after a layup was made by Spencer Strong, and that was looking like the old-fashioned hack move to keep a player from going up for the easy layup. It was Hassan. But it was ruled that Carson got all ball in a very athletic, strong-looking block.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Oxford Hills to throw that ball away.
Put it out of bounds as they tried to go in transition and quickly capitalize, but they have cut the lead down to 4. It's 31-27. Going up is Coyne. No room to fire a shot as Doucette stayed right with him, and Strong takes down the loose pass. They go to the 3-quarter press, though. Vikings in trouble. They have to break it. It's going to be 10 seconds, and they didn't get across. 10 seconds, a step away from the timeline.
Graham thinks it was 9.5.
Strong was 1 step away from getting them out of trouble, but you could see that they had to peel back a couple of times, and they turn it over, and very good coaching from South Portland. Kevin Millington turning on the pressure at exactly the right moment. Missed layup underneath from Malone, got his own miss, and he puts it back.
Boy, Malone's asserting himself in this third quarter.
He's got 9. He's 3 away from tying the team lead. All but 2 of his points have come in this second half. Strong off the fake, goes with the underhand layup, and he got it again. He is feeling it now, and he has 9 points for the Vikings. All of a sudden, he's become the primary scorer, number 4 in white and gold.
Doing a good job rebounding, too, is Strong.
coin. Nice move as he crossed over, but no room to attack the basket. Three-pointer put off and missed by Malone, who had some contact on the follow-through. Referees again uninterested. Strong across the timeline. Crosses over to his left. He's stripped of possession by Bajoka, and then foul committed trying to get the ball back.
I'm not sure if that was a frustration foul there or not, but I mean, they do have fouls to give, obviously. So.
Just their third in this half, and
it also could have been that he was just trying to keep it from a fast break, because obviously South Portland has shown that they are all about that fast break.
And a very good point there as well. It's only the first personal on Spencer Strong and kept an easy bucket from being made. 33-29 is the lead for the Red Riots. Minute 15 to go in our third quarter. Hassan feeds back up top for Connor Buckley. He backs out towards the midcourt line, and he tells his team what play to run. They step aside into the four-corner square. Ball is poked away from him, though, by Lukes. A nice move as Buckley tried to get around him. He let him go so he could poke it away from underneath.
Just want to point something out real quick. In between the possession there, St. Pierre was telling his team to slow it down a little bit, and the last two times he's got the ball, he's turned to fire, and he's just waited and been patient. So good heads-up play there by the senior.
St. Pierre tried to feed inside for Carson, turned it over with Hassan reading it, and Hassan will draw the foul underneath from Luxa. Are they going to count the...
Are they counting that?
Not seeing it go up on the scoreboard yet, but I saw one finger go up from the referee for one finger. That would have been quite a lot of continuation to allow afterwards. But Hassan steps to the line now with 39.6 to play in our third quarter. Vikings only 4 team fouls in the second half, 6 from South Portland, but neither team's gotten into the bonus either half so far. Vikings, though, will keep an eye on things as we turn towards the fourth quarter in a bit here. First shot, no good from Hassan, who's had a rough day today for the 6'4" senior forward. And his second one eventually falls through as it hit the front of the rim first.
Back up to 5 for the lead.
Vikings trying to get themselves back into it with St. Pierre, firing another long three, missed it. Carson, though, somehow came up with the rebound, and he was pushed in the back. But they're going to say it came after his first shot was missed, so it was after he got the rebound he was pushed, foul on the floor. But going by the count, it should still be a 1-and-1, and I think they've noticed that now.
Yeah, when they look back at this tape, how many hustle rebounds has Colton Carson got?
He's been all over the place, and talking with Coach Graffam before the game, he's just been their big force on the glass, as he does a very good job of getting his feet planted in the right spot, even if he's off balance, so he can eventually draw that body in and fight for the rebound. So establish the feet position first.
20 rebounds against Lawrence last week for Colton Carson.
Missed the front end of the 1-and-1, so it's still 34-29. Down to 15 seconds to go. South Portland looking to maybe hold for the last bucket here, but they're moving the ball around quite fast. They have Lewis back into the game, who hands off for Malone. He's been the hot scorer, attacks on the dribble, right down the paint, hands off, they kick it out. Bajoka from the right wing side, had to get rid of a pass there. Melton throws it up on an air ball. Not the last possession they were looking for. Graffam will be happy with that defensive effort. As we head to the fourth quarter, the lead has grown. 34-29 edge for South Portland. You're watching it on MBR.org. This is our Hammond Lumber CMCC Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
From the Spectrum Healthcare Partner broadcast booth, we've had a nice bird's eye view of this one, our CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week, coming to you on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox. Alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. Oxford Hills Vikings trying to pick up a good early season win against the reigning Class AA South champs, the South Portland Red Riots. Down 34-29, but they start with the ball, and again, they start with a missed three-point shot. St. Pierre cannot hit from the left corner. South Portland comes the other way from left to right. Right down the middle, lots of room for Malone. He's into double digits as he's got 11 with a nice underhand finish.
Yeah, Malone's really been all over the court this second half.
Carson able to put one in, and he got fouled. They'll count the bucket and one. And a much-needed extra point potentially finished off. He missed the front end of the 1-and-1 on his last trip to the free throw right at the end of the third quarter. Chance to be able to cut this deficit down to 4 points again if he can hit it here.
Is that the 4th or 5th foul on
That's
Lewis?
number 4 on Lewis,
okay.
who is headed to the bench once again. So both big men in a little bit of trouble. Keniston is back in the game with 3 fouls for Oxford Hills, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But he might have some space to operate now that they've had to put Lewis back to the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Keniston, he missed the whole third quarter other than like the first 40 seconds, so.
Carson was able to hit the free throw, so it's a 36-32 ball game. South Portland on top. Buckley, three-pointer on the way from the right wing, missed. Rebound, poked away, and they're going to say the contact in the air. Is that on Keniston? It may be. He was going up along with Carson to try and corral, and
they're calling it on 31.
That is 4 on him now, so we'll say if he stays on the court. It'll come from underneath the hoop on the inbounds pass here, and going up, Carson got a piece of that shot. Altered it from Liam Coyne. He couldn't hit. Vikings come the other way. Pass to Carson from the right block. He goes up with 2 hands, missed it. Keniston couldn't wrestle back the rebound, and the ball ended up bouncing off a foot of Noah Malone, who comes up with possession. Coyne, quick 3 from the right wing. Hit it! And that stretches the lead back out. 39-32 is Coyne. He's only hit 2 shots, but they've both been big three-point plays, and that is a large reason why they have the lead that they do right now, up by 7 points. Vikings turn it over as they try to get into the front court, and Keniston is going to have to head to the bench with his 4 fouls.
And boy, does Coyne have a quick release on that. Not even just the 3, but everywhere.
Timeout's going to be taken here. We'll step aside as well. 6:46 to go in the fourth quarter. Lead is now 7, 39-32, South Portland on top here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
From the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School, Caleb Lamb here with you on 96.9 and on the AM side on 780. And a big welcome to those of you who are listening wherever you darn well please, courtesy of MaineBasketballRadio.com on MBR.org. Video side as well. It's been a picture-perfect game in terms of defense. The offense has been a struggle for both sides. Nobody's into 40 points yet, with 6:45 to go in the fourth quarter. 39-32 lead for South Portland. They have possession here coming off the turnover from the Vikings. And losing his dribble was Buckley, who just lost his footing on the floor, and he turns it over. Carson takes it away. Outlets for St. Pierre, drops it off record. Finds St. Pierre right corner. He fakes it, goes inside, tries the runner, no good. Got it and threw it back one-handed at the side of the rim. Oh, and he took an elbow in the face. But Hassan is not going to be penalized as he goes the other way. Spins into the paint, heaves it off. Buckley long 3, short. Record has it, and still down behind the play is Chris St. Pierre. And Coach Graffam is incensed on the sideline that the play was not stopped, so his player could get a helping hand up from the training staff. St. Pierre slams his hand on the floor. He is unhappy, and I think he's going to have to come out of the game really quick.
Yeah, that was quite the elbow, and he went down immediately.
Now, that one I think you'd have to say is fair play to the officials for letting play go on, as St. Pierre was inside on Hassan, who has free reign to turn his elbows. It wasn't like he had him really far out and was trying to hit anybody. He had just ripped down the rebound that St. Pierre was also going for. So
yeah,
don't mind the non-call, but certainly you want to stop the play if you've got a player hurt. Front end of the 1-and-1 is hit by Garrett Record.
So they called the foul on the other end. I didn't catch who the foul was on. It looks like number 3.
And that would be the second foul rather on Tyree Bajoka. And Second one is hit as well to cut the lead back down to 5 points. Garrett Records got his first 2 of the game from those foul shots. Long three-pointer taken again. Malone missed. Coyne gets the turnaround jumper put up from the left elbow. No good. Carson hands off for Strong, who speeds down the court. Dribbles over towards the right sideline, and he'll put on the brakes, and they get reset. Vikings can't afford to turn the ball over at the moment. St. Pierre had stepped out as they've got on in his place Will Dietrich. The junior trying to get down low, and he runs the baseline as Carson turns and fires. Missed it. Dietrich got a hand to it. Couldn't corral the rebound, though. And South Portland pushes the pace again.
Yeah, they got the look they wanted there. Just couldn't finish the shot.
Coyne tried the three-pointer from the left wing. Missed it. Strong can attack. He goes right at Hassan. Puts it up and in. Count the bucket and the foul.
I love the way Strong attacks the basket. He's just relentless. He doesn't care if you're 6'6", 6'7". He's just going to go right at you.
Giving up a half a foot of size against the senior Riley Hassan, and junior Spencer Strong not intimidated in the slightest. Goes right by him, takes the contact, and was expecting it as well the way he finished that shot. Foul shot is up and good. The lead for South Portland is down to just 2, 39-37. And back into the game will come Scott Lewis with his 4 fouls as he replaces Riley Hassan. We'll see if that extra size might become the focal point of the offense for the Red Riots. 5:20 to go in this fourth quarter. 39-37 lead. Vikings defending, trying to force another turnover to maybe get this game tied up. On the dribble, Coyne nearly lost the handle on it.
Job defensively by Oxford Hills.
Bajoka cuts in, missed the layup, but it fell right into the arms of Scott Lewis. He puts it up and in easy range for the 6'6" player. He's got 5, and the lead back to 4, 41-37. Strong down the right sideline to the corner. Luke Seck thought about going for it, but instead he'll just dribble back up. He's doubled, had to rip it away, and again it's knocked out of his hand, but that time there was contact on the arm. Nice decision by him as well, as he almost picked up his pivot foot and remembered it well enough to avoid turning the ball over and drew the foul.
Yeah, he was fighting for, any like
he just needed leverage to try and keep possession of that basketball with 2 players who had hands on it.
I thought he was going to throw up the 3 from the corner at first and passed on it.
From the foul line, first shot is up and good.
This place was just dead silent during that free throw.
And quick little stoppage while Connor Buckley ties up his shoes. Now they're ready to go for the second foul shot. 41-38 the lead for South Portland. Vikings led pretty much the entire first half, but after giving up the lead with 44 seconds, they haven't gotten it back. Second free throw good. It's a 2-point game still.
Foul shooting's been a lot better in the second half than the first half for both teams, really.
I was going to say, both teams are starting to, I think, feel the enormity of this game, that they want that win. Down the middle comes Malone after a nice move. Missed the shot. Who did it last touch? It went off South Portland. Red Riots can't believe it. They thought that one had gone off the thigh of a Vikings player underneath the hoop. And wait, as one of these referees overturning the call again, they're going to talk to each other. This would be the second time they've overturned possession that was called for the Vikings, and they've done it. And that does not have the home crowd happy.
I'm not a fan of them, overturning it, but I do appreciate that they get together
and discuss it first.
Yes.
And if one official does come to the other and say, hey, I didn't see it, they can do that. So it stays for South Portland, but offensive foul might be a makeup call there. Luxa had just gotten in front of Malone, and it looked like he went to the deck a little bit easily there, but he forces the turnover, and the Vikings chance to tie as they'll take it from the far sideline out of bounds.
Yannick Luchka with those quick feet getting the good position.
It's Spencer Strong who takes it from St. Pierre. Pass for Luxa. He feeds it over to the right corner. St. Pierre, pass for Record. Ooh, dangerous pass that Strong had to leap for, but he takes it down in front of Bajoka. They'll feed for Carson from the right elbow. Gets to the paint. Goes with the left hand. Finishes. We're tied at 41. He's got 10 points now.
That was created by St. Pierre because they were trying to get him open out here around the corner, and his man stayed with him, got the lane open for Carson. So
Bajoka had some trouble with the handoff there for South Portland. He feeds it around to the right corner side. Into the paint they go for Lewis, and the easy 2 for him.
Can't teach size.
He has become the focal point of their offense with Hassan, who's stepped out of the game for a couple of minutes here. Now 7 points for Lewis, who does have 4 fouls. Keniston with his 4, still on the bench for the Vikings. Going up was Strong. The ball was pancaked as he came down, so they don't call it an up and down, but it was like the same as a block and then a held ball. Possession arrow favors South Portland.
Going up Strong again, and that time 2 sets of hands from the South Portland side, just not letting that happen.
Strong briefly put full court pressure on, but he drops back to the backcourt with 3.5 to play. 2-point lead, 43-41 for South Portland. They lost the ball, but it's retrieved by Bajoka before it went out of bounds. He dribbles towards the left side. Buckley looking for room down the middle, stops at the foul line, and the jumper goes.
Buckley with the shot there, but they were definitely looking to get inside to Lewis. He was fighting hard for that position, but Carson doing a good job defensively.
Strong for St. Pierre from deep on the left wing side. Goes into Carson. Top of the key to the left elbow. Luxa, he'll dribble back towards the top of the key. Picks up a man there. It's Coyne. Has to pick up his dribble. St. Pierre from a long way out. Fakes the 3. Gets inside, but he drew the double. Have to put it back out for Luxa, who leapt to keep it in. Wide open Record. Puts up the 3 ball. It's off target. And over to the far side, Bajoka has it. St. Pierre comes to put the pressure on, but they're able to break containment. Buckley across the timeline. Pull up 3 on the way. No, air balls. Looks from our angle. That one might have been dead on line, but Buckley was shooting a little bit off to the left. It did have a good-looking arc, though.
There could have been trouble. And they're Oxford Hills over here. They're trying to get that corner 3 for St. Pierre, but South Portland doing just a real good job of not letting him get open. He had some space on that previous possession, but way far out.
Hassan has come back onto the floor. 45-41 lead for the Red Riots. 2:15 to go. St. Pierre inside. Carson wide open. Couldn't finish with the 2-hand layup as Lewis put the pressure on. Hassan the rebound. Full court pressure from Luxa. Hassan crosses the timeline. Slams on the brakes top of the key. He'll outlet it here for Malone. 2 minutes to play here. Red Riots will start to milk the clock on their possessions here a little bit. Strong has to come for it. Coyne gets around him, drives right to the hoop. Couldn't finish. Luxa takes down the rebound. Turns it over though to Buckley, who's wide open and scores. St. Pierre didn't know he was coming. Timeout taken. 47-41. St. Pierre thought that they had gotten the ball inbounds before timeout was taken by the Red Riots, but they will give it to him. So with the stoppage, we'll step aside as well and be back. 47-41. Vikings trail by 6 here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Well, there's some slight unease falling over the gymnasium here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School after a turnover forced by Buckley for the easy layup. It's now a 6-point edge, 47-41, South Portland on top with 1:43 to go in the fourth quarter. Vikings have the basketball, but the Red Riots assumingly have come up with something off the timeout that they wanted to get their defense ready for, and they will leave Hassan and their big man Scott Lewis in the game. Vikings send it in for Strong. He crosses the timeline. They'll need someone to maybe be able to hit some three-point shots. They've been cold in this fourth quarter. Carson back for Luke's up top. Right wing, long way out for St. Pierre. He banks it home. And it was very close to setting the all-time record for made three-pointers by a player. Has hit a huge one there. 3-point game. Red Riots across the timeline with Malone.
You know he's going to say he called that one.
On cue, he sinks an NBA range three-pointer from a long way out on the right wing. Foul against the Vikings. I believe that's Carson.
If you're Oxford Hills here, you want to be careful who you foul too, because Buckley is a good free throw shooter. He's shown already.
That's actually the second on Spencer Strong as Garrett Record steps out. Next one will be the 1-and-1, so we'll see if they commit the foul quick with 1:11 to go. It's in for Lewis. That's who they wanted. They find some room for Coyne. They'll outlet it up top for Buckley. Might need to foul here as Malone feeds inside. Buckley, he's getting caught, feeds it across. They've got a wide open man down low. They're just doing the passing around to the four corners here. Buckley backs it out, draws the double. Ball was briefly available for a moment. Foul on the floor against the Vikings as Hassan had possession, so he will go to the line for the 1-and-1.
I mean, he's one of the few on the court that you want to foul, I suppose, in that situation. He's what? Probably 1 for 4 from the free throw line today.
Hassan is, though, one of their big-time players and a gamer, a man who's pretty much single-handedly in overtime last year fought them through the Thornton Academy team to get them back to the state title game against Portland. And he's able to sink this one no problem for the front end of the 1-and-1. Stretches the lead to 2 possessions now, 48-44. Hassan's second one up, and it's drilled as well. No problems there. He's got 6. Minute to play. Vikings down by 5. And on the dribble, Spencer Strong lost it. Hassan now goes the other way. He's going to try and get away from pressure. Heaves to the corner. Buckley will pull up, and he banks one home easily enough. 51-44. 36 seconds to go. Vikings will have to try and shoot some three-pointers here, but they'll go quick too. Luxa off the glass and in. Timeout taken. And we will take a quick timeout as well. This will be our last one. 51-46, 5-point game, just under 30 seconds to go. Vikings need a comeback if they want the win here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org. Oxford
Hills Comprehensive High School. Oxford Hills Vikings at 2-2 on the season, looking for their first win against a Class 2A opponent, and they've got a big one on hand here in their gym. It's South Portland, who has a 5-point lead, 51-46. 29 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Inbounded to Malone. They might have to foul quickly. Luxa heaves it across, and there's the foul from Dietrich against Tyree Bajoko, who will head to the line for the 1-and-1.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, he liked the quick 2 there by Lushka, but, still down 5 and fouling, so.
They took out St. Pierre so he wouldn't have to be one of the ones to commit fouls, and now they have Record and him back into the game to replace Dietrich and James Doucette. Bajoko, front of the 1-and-1, he will need it. Interesting enough, they've kept Keniston on the bench with his 4 fouls rather than trying to bring in the size right now. First one hit, no problem, by number 3 in red and silver for his first point. (52-46). And if this one goes, which it does, now makes it a much tougher task with a 7-point edge. They'll have to try and get a quick 3 here. And it's Carson who will inbound. St. Pierre goes straight towards the hoop. Quickly in for Strong with 24 seconds to go. In over towards the right wing side. Handoff for Record. Jumps, has to give it for Carson. Handoff St. Pierre. He's from deep straight away. Bounces and falls through. Timeout with 12.4 seconds to go. My goodness.
There's still a heartbeat there.
He's now 1 away from the all-time record, and that three-pointer hung in the air for a while and took a few more seconds off the clock. Hadn't hit one before the final minute and a half of this game, and now he has got a couple of big ones to put him into double digits. As we keep it right here, 12.4 seconds to go. Vikings still down by 4, though, with the way the free throws have been knocked down by South Portland down the stretch. And they do still have another one to give for just a 1-and-1 before they'll get into the 2 free throw territory. So this could be big here. They'll need to try and get a quick foul on a player that won't want the ball in his hands. But for South Portland, whoever's made the catches hasn't had any problem. And they're going to go with their shooting lineup on the floor as they put the big man Lewis back on the bench here. They just want players who will be comfortable going to the charity stripe if they get the inbounds catch.
Same thing with Oxford Hills here. I mean, they're going to have all their shooters out there too, other than St. Pierre, because like you said, they don't want him picking up the cheap foul.
Hassan inbounds, and he finds Malone, who's hog-tied up by Luxa. Only took a couple of tenths of a second off the clock there. 11.7 still remains.
So St. Pierre, you said, is 1 away from...
He'll have the record, and he is back into the game. You imagine he's going to be the player they go to. it's been interesting here. The threes that he has hit have been from much longer and much further back than the three-point line at the high school level. He's missed the ones when he's been even with it.
And the harder ones, the contested ones, are the ones that he's made.
Malone misses the front end. Carson gets the ball down. Under 10 seconds to go. It's a 4-point game. Record fires it up. No good. Off the iron. Strong gets it back. He goes up into the air. Off balance three. That one wouldn't go as well. And that is game. Vikings gave it a shot, but they're going to come up a couple field goals short in this one. So the Vikings win streak stops at 2 games, at least in MPA Heel Point play. And now they will have to set their sights on the next one. So this one, a very, very good contest. It'll finish 53-49, South Portland on top as the teams go through the handshake lines here. South Portland edges another win closer as they continue to battle for the top spot in Class AA South play, while the Vikings now fall to 2-3, and they are still just hanging on to that final playoff berth in Class AA North. But still very early as this team continues to find its footing in a very good game against a tough opponent today. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on our post-game show. Don't go away. This is our Hammond Lumber Central Maine Community College Game of the Week on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Showed us the invoice of the car, took $1,000 off, showed us all the rebates. Everything was full disclosure. No other dealer would do that for us. I have had at least 5 that said that, almost verbatim.
Why don't you say that? There's nothing to hide in the commercials. I mean, it's all out there.
What's the website, Amber?
YankeeFord.com.
Marty?
YankeeFord.com.
Jay?
YankeeFord.com.
Burke?
YankeeFord.com.
I'm a little confused here. I'm not sure what the website is. I'm not getting it.
YankeeFord.com.
Yeah, sure. That might be it. Plus oil changes for as long as you own your car. Maine State inspections for as long as you own the car.
I think if you go to the website, the point is that we're going to have the lowest price in the market.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you more for your used car. And when you come in here, we're going to pull the invoice and show you the cost. We're going to show you the rebates. We're going to be completely full disclosure.
Yeah.
Go ask the competitors to do that. They won't do it. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, there's no fine print at Yankee Ford. What was their website again?
YankeeFord.com.
Right.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Back here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School Gymnasium as we wrap up coverage for you of our Hammond Lumber and Central Maine Community College Game of the Week. This was a good contest. The Vikings riding some hot defensive pressure in the first half, held the lead until the final minute, but once South Portland took control, they did not relinquish it the rest of the way as the Vikings were able to get even but never retook the lead in the second half of what eventually became a 53-49 victory for the Red Riots. Let's run through the scoring recap for you on this one. Connor Buckley, a huge game for South Portland, 18 points, couple of trays, and he was their man to hit the shots down the stretch to make sure that they stayed on top. Noah Malone also was big, especially in the third quarter, as this game definitely ticked up in tempo. and went from an 18-15 game at the break to a 53-49 score. He finished with 11, the majority of those again coming in the third. Liam Coyne, 2 big three-pointers, as that helped them keep their margin of victory. He finished with 6. Riley Hassan kept in control most of the game. He was contained with Hassan finishing with just 6. Scott Lewis, 7 points, a couple of bunnies down low in the fourth quarter. Shippen Savage had 1, and Tyree Bajoko rounding out the scoring with 2 from himself. For the Vikings side of things, really this was another game of scoring by committee, but 3 players really came to life for them in that second half. Spencer Strong finishing with a team-high 12. Colton Carson finally got things going with 10 points. He made the first bucket of the game, but finished without another field goal in the first half. Janik Luxa, very key 10 points contributed at different points there. And Chris St. Pierre, a couple of big three-pointers to at least give the Vikings a fighting chance as the seconds ticked down. He finished with 10. 2 from Atreyu Keniston, who again had some foul trouble tonight. Picked up 3 fouls very early in the second half and had his 4th very early in the fourth quarter. So didn't get a lot of minutes on the court and didn't finish the game on the floor either. Jacob Ajay finished with 2 points, and another 2 were scored by Garrett Record, who hit 2 free throws, as that was the scoring from both sides. But this was really a good basketball game, one that the Vikings, I think, needed to keep the lead from growing, which it got as high as 8 at one point early in the fourth quarter. That was when it started to become an issue for them. It was just too much ground to try and make up.
Yeah, and then they eventually got to that point where they tied the game, or they had it within 2. And then that turnover, we talked about it off air, that turnover was going to be late in the fourth quarter when St. Pierre didn't see Buckley coming from behind him, and he just took that pass and put in the easy layup. That was really the turning point. But overall, I mean, South Portland defending, Class AA South champs, still coming in here with, Hassan and all these playmakers here. Buckley, I mean, man, Buckley looks like a really young Jason Williams out there. Seriously, he's
very lanky, but very good with the ball.
Such a very good ball handler, very quick too. So I mean, they have quite a few scorers on here, and for the Oxford Hills defense to basically shut down Hassan, he had 6 points. 2 of them came, on free throws in the fourth quarter. That's a good job. Well played basketball game. There was a fair share of turnovers, but I mean, both teams played very well defensively, and I'm sure that they both have a long road ahead. We're just kind of rounding out the first quarter here of the season.
And really, with the way that we've had game cancellations or pushbacks because of all the winter weather we've gotten and the big snowstorms this year, there are still some big matchups to come. A couple games against Bangor coming up later on this year for the Vikings. Those will obviously be huge, huge games just between 2 teams that are competing in Class AA North, let alone with the storylines about facing Matt Fleming for the first time as well. But a Viking squad that took another step forward here. They lost by double digits against Portland, against a South Portland team. They went very, very strong. Speaking of strong, we have an award to hand out to Mr. Spencer Strong. He is going to be our Bessie Motors Player of the Game. An outstanding game from the junior forward who just did a great job of penetrating inside down that right lane and finishing somehow in and amongst the trees against those bigger players in Riley Hassan and Scott Lewis. He finished with a team-high 12, but really, even if it had been something like 6 or 8 points, you could still give it to him just on the athletic feats that he had to finish to get those buckets to go down. He lived and died with the reverse layup tonight, and mostly he lived.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a great job of not being afraid to go, into the paint with the big bodies and just, super aggressive. And you got to love that. Kid's got a lot of heart and determination as well.
So Spencer Strong, the junior, is our Bessie Motors Player of the Game, as that wraps things up for us. The Vikings next on the schedule here is they'll look to, at some point they have to beat a Class 2A opponent. It's just been some bad luck and some very good teams that they've faced early here that have kept them from doing so. But they'll get another crack at it when they take on Bangor on January the 2nd, that game in Bangor. And then they've got tough games with Deering, Lewiston still on the horizon. While for South Portland now, that team sets their sights on Sanford and then Massabesic before they have a couple of tough ones against Deering and Wyndham next up for the Red Riots.
Ben Onik and Deering. He's a tough matchup for anyone. So
So we'll keep an eye on how both these teams do, and maybe, just maybe, they might be from the other sides of each bracket when we get to tournament time, but still some things to polish up for both these sides as they try to hopefully end this campaign with some kind of a trophy held aloft. Final score again here for the final time. It's South Portland 53, the Oxford Hills Vikings 49. For my broadcast partner, Nick Perry, and big thanks to our producer back in the studio, Tyler Cameron, I'm Caleb Lamb. This has been our MBR.org Game of the Week and our Hammond Lumber Central Maine Community College game here on 96.9 The Ox. All righty.